Hello, and I'm just setting up a new studio and we've got a new setup. So excuse me if it's not perfect, but we're just experimenting. These things always get better over time. I'm Simon Dixon and I am getting ready to launch the Retirement Plan B live masterclass. This time last year, I gave a free 4-part video series on how I'm investing $1 million of my personal income. And since then, the retirement plan has tripled within 1 year. And so I thought it was time to give an update to everybody. And we're getting ready for the Retirement Plan B live masterclass, where we'll be deconstructing everything. I'm going to share a bit more about it. But first, I wanted to cover something on a question I got, which is around, I get it all the time. People asking me, because I forecasted a few things right, I've been navigating people through the financial markets for quite some time now. I always get asked, what's next in crypto? And you may not like the answer to this, but I'm going to share with you what I think will serve you best. So let's jump straight into the slides. This is the big screen we got now. I'm going to talk about the 3 things really. In crypto, there's only really 3 things. It's very easy to think you've got to be on top of the latest trends, whether it be ICOs or whether it be the new Bitcoin killer or whether it be DeFi or whether it be NFTs. But really in crypto, the answer to this question has been the same for a long time. And there were 3 things that I've always discussed that are happening in crypto that investors that are into Bitcoin and looking to put together a retirement plan B would need exposure to. And so let's try and cut out all the noise. And the 3 things are as follows. The first thing is hard money. So Bitcoin came along and invented the world's best shot that we've ever seen at achieving digital hard sound money. An iteration on hard money is all the services that came from it, like collateral, so that you can then lock up your money as a store of value. And then once you've generated a wealth effect, you can use it as a medium of exchange and then sometimes unit of account as well. But hard money is what Bitcoin did. That really opened up the kimono to this wave of innovation. And after Bitcoin, way back around, so I spoke at the first Bitcoin conference in 2011, when I published the book, Bank to the Future, Protect Your Future Before Governments Go Bust, which was the first published book in the world to include Bitcoin. We all started talking about what next. And what we were talking about was this concept back then called colored coins, which is where you could make a Bitcoin, launch a token on top of it, and it become non-fungible. A decade later, this phrase non-fungible tokens became a huge thing. But it was really those early conversations where we were saying, could we use the public blockchain behind Bitcoin and use that in order to do stocks and shares and all sorts of stuff? So this was the concept that came next, smart contracts. And so the second innovation is smart contracts. And these really opens up the wave of all sorts of different things. Whether it be, all the different things that we got there, whether it be assets, the security tokens, non-fungible tokens, and all the alternative applications that we've been investing in since. So smart contracts is innovation number 2. And really the only other thing is the whole concept of digital fiat. And so could you use the blockchain in order to make it easier to transport fiat currency around the world? Banks invented digital currency, but it's backed by debt. Could you use this technology in order to improve the rails? And so you get that at the central bank level with central bank digital currencies. You get that at the corporate level with companies like Facebook. And you had it in the crypto industry originally with products like Tether, where you were using the power of being able to send money in a peer-to-peer fashion globally and do that on the Bitcoin blockchain and the other blockchains that came along since. And so really, it's only these 3 things, and we've still got a lot further to go. Digital hard sound money, Bitcoin has become one of the top 10, over $1 trillion currency at the time of this. Smart contracts, Ethereum has taken a lot of that market share. And decentralized finance, NFTs, and all this various other things is being built on top of Ethereum. And then central bank digital currencies and stable coins are innovating in the digital fiat space, which then leads into remittance and all those other things. So when thinking of a retirement plan centered around Bitcoin and the wider crypto markets, you only really need to think of those three things and forget about all the noise. All the noise is just an iteration on top of these three things. So my crystal ball is that Bitcoin becomes digital hard sound money as my investment thesis. Then you have the reinvention of the financial system through smart contracts that allows you to do everything you could have done at a bank using this technology. And then you have competition where now you have financial currencies that exist without governments and central banks, and therefore the central banks and governments need to try and compete. So they create their digital fiat, and that was innovated by the stablecoin innovation. And then we have corporations, central banks, governments, and technology all competing in the upcoming currency wars. And that really takes us full circle back to the original 4-part video series and what I'll be updating everybody in the live masterclass, which is the monetary renegotiation. So with that in mind, I wanted to do two things for you before the live masterclass. Firstly, head over to retirementplanb.com and register yourself for notifications so that we can notify you when the masterclasses go live. I'll give you a brief overview. And also, I wanted to bring your attention to some more recent news that has been happening with the G7 in the central bank digital currency space, so that when we launch the live masterclass, you got the context in terms of what's happening right now. So if you go to retirementplanb.com and enter your email, we'll give you notifications. And I also created a bonus training video to celebrate the live masterclass launch that's going to be happening on the 10 protections that you need in your crypto portfolio. You can head over there right now, enter your email, and that video will come straight to you. And then we'll email you when the 4 masterclass sessions go live. The masterclass sessions are going to be over 10 hours of content where I'm going to be teaching in front of the screen. I'm going to be sharing videos, sharing messages from case studies from other investors, and also doing an AMA session where I answer your questions. And that will be going on for approximately a week, spread over these 5 sessions. So once you know that there's only really 3 trends you need to crystal ball, then you need to ask yourself the question, should I be buying Bitcoin now or should I be selling? I meet the people all the time that are saying, is it time to sell? I made some good returns. I meet people that are saying, have I missed the boat? Is it too late? I need to buy. Is it too late to buy? Should I wait for it to correct? And so Masterclass 1 is really going to be focusing on the considerations around that. Once you've got that set up, you start thinking about structuring. So one of the most common, we recently did a survey, and one of the most common questions that people were asking for me to cover in Masterclass 2 was, how do I deal with cryptocurrency taxes? So we'll be covering that and other considerations in Masterclass 2. And then finally, or thirdly rather, in Masterclass 3, how do I put together a cryptocurrency retirement plan? This deals with the structuring conversation and how to achieve the asset protection that you need in order to achieve the goals of a retirement plan. And then we'll move over to Masterclass session 4, which is how do I build and protect my cryptocurrency wealth? Because once you've built it, you then start focusing on protecting. And if you want a sneak preview on that, then head over, sign up to retirementplanb.com, and you can get the 10 protections that every investor needs. Okay, so that's all I've got for you. That's a sneak peek. I'm really excited about delivering the live masterclass, completely free for everybody that signs up there, and we'll email you over. Don't use your fake email because we're going to send all the notifications to that email. As a little bonus, as I said, as we're getting excited, I want to draw your attention to a recent live AMA that I did on my YouTube channel, Simon Dixon, where you may have missed it, but I was going through what's happening right now with the announcement from the UK Chancellor and Exchequer on the G7 central bank digital currencies. So we'll head over to that, and I look forward to seeing you at retirementplanb.com, where you can build and protect your wealth using a Bitcoin-centered retirement plan and really taking advantage and capitalizing on some of the real simple crystal balls on what people think are very complex subjects as well. So I'll head over to the video right now, and I'll see you on the other side. Thank you. This is our good friend, the Chancellor Exchequer in the UK, with a very smug grin as he announced the beginning of the next phase of the monetary renegotiation to shift our economies from capitalism to communism. So let's go straight in, and I'm going to give a bit of commentary so that you can read between the lines and understand what that smug grin is actually saying. So I'll play the first bit.
Today, I'm proud to say that under the UK's presidency, the group of the world's 7 most advanced economies, the G7, is launching a set of public policy principles for retail central bank digital currencies.
Okay, so let me unpack the code words there. This means that the top economies in the world, the G7, are looking at how they are going to implement the monetary renegotiation that takes away all of your rights, all of your privacy, and gets ready for a war on banks as well. So you're going to see a lot of bank lobbying efforts against the negativity of this. We already started to see interesting reports from Bank of America where they were talking about how bullish they are on the case for Bitcoin and DeFi as a result of these central bank digital currencies. Because what does it mean? This changes the rules. Many people talk about, they focus more on the wrong thing. They think it's the digital part of it. So they think it's the digital money that's the innovation. The innovation is actually the monetary renegotiation that I covered over a decade ago in my book, Bank to the Future, Protect Your Future Before Governments Go Bust. This is a fundamental reform in banking and changing the rules of money to who actually creates money and how it is backed. This moves us away from a debt-backed monetary system where private banks create the money backed by loans to a central bank digital currency dominated system where money's not backed by debt, but is backed by the whims of the G7 that are making sure that they are statistically significant as the dollar moves from the world's largest regulated Ponzi scheme to a ginormous shift in currency wars. And they're making sure that they are aligned and together in order to shift and gain the control and remove the privacies and human rights of all humans through the central bank digital currency.
CBDCs. Central bank digital currencies could be a digital version of money, a bit like a digital banknote that could be used alongside physical notes and coins.
A lot unlike a digital banknote, which gives you full privacy and the ability to own your own money. Instead, we would like you to take all the money like we did with Indian demonetization, where we got all of the people in India several years back that drove them into Bitcoin because we said that your cash and coins is no longer legal tender, and therefore you need to swap it up into bank money created the Indian rupee, and you're going to have to stand outside with your lifetime savings and risk getting all your money stolen, and we're going to run out of the notes because we want you to digitize it so that we can have full control over all money. Saying that a central bank digital currency is like cash is a lie, it's misleading, and it's very disingenuous.
Unlike most of the digital money people use daily today, it would be issued directly by a central bank, like the
i.e., it no longer needs to be backed by debt. We're moving further away from free market capitalism. I'm a big critic of fractional reserve banking, which is the process by which banks create digital money, which is a representation of the money that governments create. But at least it's one step removed from full government control. This is moving back in the direction of the central bank issuing it and removing more of the free market forces. I'm not a big fan of debt-backed money, but at least it's backed by some kind of market force. And this is the complete removal of that. And war on banks as well, which I'm a big fan of. And I said it was inevitable, predictable, and guaranteed, but you have to know the side consequences so you can understand what forces are at work here.
The Bank of England in the UK. And
the Bank of England, which was a private company founded in 1694 in order to fund wars, which has gradually been nationalized and nationalized over time that is meant to be fully independent, but also is the creator of money in order to implement mass theft of people's savings through inflation and through ginormous tax increases that slowly drives us towards the removal of free markets altogether.
Governments and central banks across the world are working together, looking into what having a digital currency might mean in practice.
Awesome. We can look forward to the cartel backed by a basket of different currencies. This will have immense improvements on user experience, but it will kill your ability for freedom. So they can make an awesome currency that's very easy to use for everything they want you to do, but you won't be able to own it. You won't be able to spend it if they don't like how you're spending it, and it will be depleted in value because of the excessive supply that it will release into the economy. But on the other side, they can implement their algorithmic artificial intelligence led monetary policy that we talked about in the monetary renegotiations.
This includes issues that people care about, such as ensuring users' money would be safe and secure, that it...
Yep, so you get to have it safe and secure in somebody else's hands where you can't own it, and people can tell you whether you can spend it or not. And if you subscribe to a particular school of thought which is not in line with government agendas, i.e. you think that you're not ready for a vaccine or something like that, then they can switch off your passport connected to your purchase, connected to your central bank digital currency, if they choose, so that they can automate that whole process and give you everything you need in your cash.
Could work with other ways to pay, would be energy efficient and available to everyone.
Oh, a little dig at Bitcoin, energy efficiency. So we've been dealing with that one. This is the big movement towards central bank digital currencies. But Bitcoin is backed by proof of work. Proof of work is a cost that is needed in order to have private money that no one can change, everybody can own, and everybody can spend freely. The opposite of that is energy efficient, non-proof of work backed central bank digital currency, because we don't need any kind of decentralization. We don't need people to expend electricity in order to create the world's largest supercomputer and have thousands of people all around the world audit it. Instead, we want to be the complete controllers.
A potential CBDC could offer businesses and consumers new ways to pay in the future. It's all part of the wider story of digital innovation that has delivered benefits to millions around the world and in the UK. The decision on whether to launch
It sounds like he's talking about Bitcoin, which is giving people the ability to own their own money, spend their own money, and hedge against your ridiculous policies of money printing in order to inflate away everybody's savings. But no, he's talking about the central bank digital currency, which will actually do the opposite.
The central bank digital currency is for each country to make, and no G7 jurisdiction has yet made that choice. These decisions raise important questions.
No G7, China's done it. China's very open about the way, because they are a communist-led party country anyway, and they're happy with the way that they're organizing their economy. So we need to try and compete and pretend that we're not becoming like China. But China's ahead of this situation. They're getting ahead in technology. They're getting ahead in central bank digital currencies. We better do something, because the future is China.
About the reshaping of our economy, financial systems, and the way in which people interact with money and payments. That's why working together and careful evaluation with our international partners is essential. In the UK earlier this year, I announced a new joint task force between the Treasury and the Bank of England to look into a potential CBDC.
Yeah, this is the independent government that has a structure where the central bank is meant to be independent of government policy, but we need to set up a task force so that we can figure out how to print all the money, take down the banks, and get people to opt in to our new central bank digital currency in order to gain power in the monetary renegotiation.
As a complement to cash and bank deposits, we're also hearing from firms, technology experts, and others. Under the leadership
Of course, the firms also want to own a piece of the central bank digital currency. So now that everybody's seen the innovation, private companies are looking at doing what they're doing because of the innovation that came from stable coins. And now our industry, congratulations, people, we have made an industry that has shaken up the world, that has made governments react. And I always said Bitcoin is a regulator of the regulator. It keeps fiat currency more honest, and it creates this nice tension and competition in the upcoming currency wars.
of the UK, this report today will help support and inform exploration of CBDCs in the G7 and beyond. With these principles, the G7 is leading an important step change in
Okay, I'm going to puke, so I'm going to stop that right now. The 2020s didn't start the way any of us expected. Things that seemed so secure at the start of the year seems a lot less sure right now. But every challenge has a seed of opportunity inside it. And this crisis is no different. Now is the time to adjust. I've been through crisis before, several of them. I know that first you survive, and then you thrive. I'm Simon Dixon, and for 20 years I've been helping everyday people navigate the financial markets. Since 2011, I've helped many invest into the highest performing asset in history, Bitcoin. This time last year, I gave a free 4-part video series on how to build and protect your wealth in the Great Depression of the 2020s. The portfolio since then has outperformed financial markets by orders of magnitude. So now, over the next week, I want to update you on everything that has changed and show you why now is the best time to adjust in the most interesting and exciting time to be alive in financial history. Welcome to the brand new Retirement Plan B live masterclass.